Hey guys, Metalhead Reactions, I'm Ryan.
I'm Jill.
We are two metalheads reacting to rap and hip-hop videos. Today we are going to do something new.
Yes.
Tell me about it, Jill. What's new about this particular artist?
Alright, here goes. Another story. Obviously I've been researching in the last few days or weeks or however long it's been. Alright, so last night I was watching a random thing on YouTube, the Hot Ones thing we've talked about before, with Trick Daddy.
Yeah.
This time they had Noel Gallagher on there, obviously, from the UK or whatever, from Oasis.
Big hip-hop head.
Yeah, Oasis. Well, they asked him something about watching his kids grow up and if they're going to be rebellious like he was, blah, blah, blah. And he just started talking about the music.
Wait, is Oasis rebellious?
He was a fucking crazy guy. I don't know if their music was, but I'm just saying he was just... out there.
Because my first thought was those rebellious Beatle ripoffs.
No, they were just not the best people. Yeah. Anyway, so they asked the question, but he started talking about his kids, and he started talking about what his kids liked musically. And he mentioned grime music, which I had not heard of. And they started talking a little bit about it and flashing up pictures from it. And so I did a whole deep dive into researching it afterwards. I cannot even begin to go into everything, but essentially, from what I gathered, it's a whole movement that started with a guy named Wiley on underground radio that they had, and yada, 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 and it was kind of a mix of, like, electric and dance hall and just all, amalgamation of a bunch of different things. And I don't know, it's a whole thing where it branches off in all kind of different ways, where it's more this way and the other, blah, blah, blah. So Wiley was the guy that kind of brought it out, and it had a bunch of different names before they came to grime, but it was more just about being to the core and grimy, which is why it got grime. And so he was obviously one of the big ones. And then Bugzy Malone is another big one. Now, Wiley's like our age, and Bugsy's like late 20s. But he's apparently really great and a really big deal. So anyway, it was all very interesting, and Bugzy Malone, was very heavily influenced by Tupac, is at least what it told me on the internet. So
always trust the internet.
Yeah,
always trust the internet. I know.
So I went around and around and around, and I was like, I want to do one of these songs, but I don't know what. I don't have the first clue about this type of music. I know what dance hall is and all that, obviously, but I don't know about grime music, obviously, and this is something that nobody's brought up in our comments, so I had no idea where to go off of it. So I was just looking, and I was like, do we want to do Wiley? Do we want to do Bugzy Malone? Da, 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 da. And then I just randomly saw that Bugzy Malone has done a song called Hip Hop Heavy Metal. And I was like, well, let's do that one. That seems to fit. Now, I don't have any idea if we're going to hate this like this. I don't have the first clue what it sounds like. I don't know. And like I said, there's so many factions of grime, just like with rap or metal or whatever. There's always so many different horror movies. You've got 25,000 different subgenres. Yeah. So I think it's kind of like the same thing. So we may not like this style, but we may like another style, because there's another style that mixes more R&B and hip hop in, which is kind of not a thing in it. So I'd be very curious to know if you guys listen to any of this or any of these guys. I did see Bugzy did a cover of Stan from Eminem called Dan. And it seemed like people liked it.
Pretty clever.
Yeah. I was like, well, it seems like people like this, so maybe this guy's actually really good. And he has a lot of respect for him and for everything. And obviously, like I said, Tupac is one of his influences. So we're going to try him out. That was a long story to get here, but now I'm really interested in this grime stuff. So I really want more suggestions and y'all's thoughts on this.
We'll see in 4 minutes whether you really want to learn more about it or.
Well,
if you're done with
like I said, this may be just a section we don't like. I mean, we've done other rap songs that we didn't like that much, but we really like other ones. Yeah. So we'll keep trying. But let's try first with this guy.
Okay.
Bugzy Malone.
Another day gets sorrow, another day gets stalling, waiting for tomorrow. Tomorrow. tomorrow never comes. Now I'm just sitting in my bedroom, the gaps in the curtains, I letting light get through, but now I know for certain tomorrow never comes. I'm like a nocturnal creature, staring at the ceiling. They say that I'm a preacher, when really I'm revealing the way you shouldn't live life, hustling, stealing. What kind of a fool would let the stresses of his childhood make him turn sick? Just let bygones be bygones, let the past live. But now I've got to ask the question, what type of a prick do they take me for? And this is just the life I know, just another lonely morning. You don't know about the struggle I was born in. I do wanna do wrong, and this is just the way I roll, messing up the life God gave me. I just pray that I never go crazy. I didn't wanna do wrong. Like I'm just another ghetto child.
Alright, so you're gonna say something?
Oh, it's so interesting to hear his accent coming through.
That's what I was thinking. At first, like, there's no accent, and then it crept in a little there.
Yes. I'm like, all right, he's got a little London accent going on. That's pretty cool. But other than that, I mean, I like it pretty good, pretty well.
It's not
proper English. Yeah, I like it so far.
I was expecting something, completely different.
I was too, actually, because when I was watching those videos,
it's just pretty smooth hip hop.
Yeah, when I was watching those videos or the thing last night, the pictures that they would throw up, I mean, it made it look like it was just, like in your face, and like this is
15 years, you've never made that face before.
Well, I probably never will again. Well, that was the pictures they were showing of him. Like, it was just, like, so intense. So I was expecting just in your face. And this is more hip-hop, which is clearly, it kept saying this is not hip-hop. Grime's not hip-hop, and this is hip-hop. So maybe I didn't pick the best song to introduce us to Grime. So
comments.
Yes, please.
Freedom of thought, freedom of speech will reconcile he who believes. But these days, man wear crosses and rosary beads, but still show no remorse when they roll on the streets. Now I'm just another nigga that sounds cold on a beat, trying to make it in this hard world of hopes and deceit. I'm gritting my teeth, same time clutching his heat, cause it's the life I know. I was born to be deep, now I'm stuck between the devil and the deep blue sea. A living rebel, I was destined to see HMP, but I came, I saw, I conquered, and now look, no wonder MCs are hating on me, cause I'm too ghetto for the good, too good for the ghetto, too clever for the hood, so hood I'll never settle. Now I'm sitting in my bedroom, drinking amaretto, and I think I'm gonna call this track hip-hop heavy metal. And this is just the life I know, just another lonely morning. You don't know about the struggle I was born in, I do wanna do wrong, and this is just the way I roll, messing up the life God gave me. I just pray that I never go crazy, I didn't wanna do wrong. Now I'm the man behind the myth, and I'm a critic in my own right. I criticize the bits, I say the ghetto never had a chance, neither did the kids. Look at me, well God forgive me for the things I did. Just a ghetto child in the mix with niggas and chicks, money and hoes, cars, clothes, heaters and bricks. You won't believe some of the things man are importing on ships. They get eaten in the ghetto like a portion of chips. This is ghetto living, I swear I will never regret times when it came on top and I slept with a sket. And by sket I mean a dirty strap I kept in my bed. I can remember it like yesterday, I'll never forget how I was born in the struggle. I didn't ask to be poor, now they wonder why I'm telling them to get on the floor and empty the safe. Don't look at me, just open the door, jump in the car outside like put your foot to the floor. And this is just the life I know, just another lonely morning. You don't know about the struggle I was born in, I do wanna do wrong, and this is just the way I roll, messing up the life God gave me. I just pray that I never go crazy, I didn't wanna do wrong.
Wow, that just stopped. I think it just cut off on us. Okay, there was a lot going on in that song. It's one of those where it's like smooth but it's got a lot in it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's basically, what I heard, didn't want to do wrong. He's struggling to be a good person, but he was given the situation and he had to do what he had to do to survive, essentially, and did not like what he was having to do.
Yeah.
So that's what I got out of it. But, I mean, I like it though. I mean, I like the accent. That was interesting to hear, but because usually, you hear British people or other people sing, you can't ever really discern the accent. You could hear it.
Yeah, it was pretty thick at times.
Yeah. What did you think?
It definitely had a good smooth groove to it. Maybe the video was playing too much of a part of it. He's such a young kid.
Yeah.
He's such a young kid, and I understand that the subject matter is, like, I don't want to do wrong, but I gotta, take care of business.
Yeah.
But it almost seems like maybe he's trying to rap a little higher than his age. Not that he doesn't have experiences, but I don't know. He just seemed very young, and that's kind of like J. Cole.
But you can go through a lot of hell and be young.
I mean, that was what he said in the song. He's been seeing this stuff forever and ever.
Yeah, his entire life. If you're born in
because he was born poor, and then he says put the money in the bag.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I mean, I think
it was a good song.
I definitely think he has been through a lot. At least I don't know him if this was his own story, but the person that was depicted in the thing. I think. I mean, and I think that is some of his life. I didn't read a whole lot about how he grew up or anything, but anyway. So I do want to see some of the intense grime stuff that I saw, and I think he may do some of it. Maybe I just didn't pick the right one. I don't know, but leave us some comments. Let us know.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. That was our reaction to Hip Hop Heavy Metal by Bugzy Malone. If you liked it, please click the like button. It always helps us out to see if you guys are really paying attention, because we hope you are. And click the subscribe button down below if you want to see more of our videos or any of our old stuff. That's going to be it for us today. You guys take care of yourselves, and we'll catch you later.
Thanks.
Rock and roll.